Let's bring in right now CEO of GE, former CEO of GE, Jeff Immelt. He's the author of the memoir titled Hot Seat, What I Learned While Leading a Great American Company. Jeff, always great to talk to you.
Good to see you.
I've always thought about your tenure in GE, and even before this book came out, I was always reminded of a Harry Truman quote that when he was asked about Andrew Johnson, the guy who had to follow Abraham Lincoln, he said, "Heroes know when to die." And the historians, most of them think he's talking about FDR as much as he's talking about Lincoln, because he had to follow FDR. I've always thought about your tenure, that you got into the hot seat at a time when Jack Welch, God bless him, love Jack, but when Jack Welch left that company, and I'm just going to say it, I mean, a few people do, it wasn't a very defined company. Jack bought what he wanted to buy. He was like, you know, master of all things that he saw, and it was let's just say that you had an eclectic collection of products to sell when you got into that hot seat. How difficult was that? How much of a challenge was that to figure out exactly what GE was supposed to be?
You know, Joe, Jack was a great CEO, but the times were just so different going into this century with the volatility and just the nature of the world. And what I tried to do in this book is just add some context to a complicated GE story at a complicated time, to do it on behalf of the people that lived it with me, to talk, I think, very frankly about the good and the bad. And hopefully people can learn lessons from the experiences we had. But I have great reverence for Jack, but the era was just so different and the company needed to change.
Yeah, what was you took over right before 9/11.
Right.
So what was your reaction? How did you react? What do you talk about in this book about how quickly you had to react to a world-changing event, an earth-shattering event? What sort of managerial tips do you have for others?
Yeah, you know, Joe, I talk about both 9/11, the financial crisis, and even COVID today. I think in a crisis, leaders absorb fear, that they show people a path, but they don't try not to scare them, that they make decisions in a crowded room, that they don't worry about being second guessed, that they're the communicator in chief, but most importantly, they have a flexible point of view. That even if you think about COVID, you know, you've had to constantly change your mind as you get new facts. And I think all those things I talk about in the book, both with 9/11, but particularly the financial crisis, which was also extremely difficult for GE.
Hey, Jeff, it's Willie. It's good to see you again. Congratulations on the book. You know, the job,
Thanks.
I'm not sure everyone appreciates the job of being the CEO of GE, where you have to worry about jet engines, light bulbs, and the ratings and revenue of the Thursday night lineup on NBC. It's just such a vast portfolio. So how did you approach the job when you came in on September 10th, 2001? And how did it change over 16 years?
Yeah, you know, Willie, I would say that in the beginning and throughout time, you just had to have great people. It wasn't like I was going to walk into a room at NBC and say, hey, guys, the script stinks. We need to write better or build the jet engine that way. But I needed Jeff Zucker and Dave Joyce and Beth Comstock and those people. So it really is about people. And then I think as time goes on, it really became a job about how GE fits in the world. I think.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.